Let me present to you the template known as My Personal Site, which is a platform where you can easily publish your posts and share your thoughts with others. You can also display your profile information and even customize it however you like. All of this in a very simple way. Should we get started? Let's create a project in Content Island. If you don't have an account, you can create a free one at contentisland.net. Click on Add Project. For the name, let's put, for example, My Blog. We choose to work in template mode. Click Next. And here we select Personal Site. Click Complete. And now, at this point, everything is completely ready for us to begin and start working on our project. Let's go ahead and copy the command that we need in order to create the Astro project locally on our computer. I'll click right here to do that. I go to Visual Studio Code and paste it. With this, we launch the Content Island CLI. Now, in the terminal, it asks us a series of questions. The first one is where we want to create the project. In my case, I have an empty folder open, so I just type a dot. Otherwise, I would specify the name of the destination folder where I want to create the project. The second question is whether we want to run npm install right away. I say yes. And it starts installing the dependencies. Now we're ready. And if you notice, we have a complete solution in Astro with everything pre-configured to work with your Content Island project. Now all we have to do is run npm run dev. First, we start up the development server, then we come over here to our browser, and after that, we navigate to localhost 4321, which is the address for our local server. And here we have our project ready to start customizing. At this point, you might think, this is great, but I want to see my posts, my info, my photo. So let's begin by starting to change that content right here in Content Island. Now let's go over here and select the Content tab. This will allow us to access and modify the content as needed for convenience. I've selected the tree view. You can also work with the table view, but the tree view feels a bit more like the experience in Visual Studio Code. And we start modifying the information. What do we have here? So let's start with the home page. And the idea is to start from the top with this header, then this hero section, and then go down through these asides to modify the About Me, the monthly recommendation, and the featured post. To finish with this call to action, the footer, and then focus on the posts, which are basically the core of this page. And then we'll move on to the About page and do the same thing. So let's get started with this. Let's go to Content Island. And at first, you might feel a little overwhelmed here because there are a lot of things. The good thing is that the names make sense. And also, if you go to the Content Island documentation, in the template section, you can find a map where we show you which part of the page maps to which entity in Content Island. In our case, we have the header. We click on header, and if we scroll down, you can see the text that was there before, and I'm going to put Braulio. Very important, for this to be visible, we have to click the Publish button. We publish, and if we now go back to our page and refresh, since we're currently in development mode, everything will automatically reload for us. So here we have the text displayed which says My Name. As you can see, the changes are reflected immediately. Next step, let's take a look at this Hero section component and customize it. Back in Content Island, we carefully look for the Hero Home section. Here it is. And we're going to change the title and description field. In this case, in the title field, I put that it's Braulio's personal site. And the description, I update it as well. We click Publish. Let's see how it turned out. Let's take a moment to refresh, and here is the updated new description for you. Now let's smoothly move on to the next section, which is the mini bio. We look for the mini bio node here, click on it, and here we have the card to update. We change the name, the role, for example, the description, the photograph too. We delete this one and then add a new one in its place. If I click on the Add File button, the File Explorer window opens up, and I am able to select the file I want to upload. Or alternatively, I can also simply drag and drop the file into the window. After that, I upload it. We change the image alt. We click Publish, and let's see how it looks. Refresh, and here it is. There's still one thing left to do, and that's this contact section, which right now links to generic LinkedIn, GitHub pages, and a generic email. Ideally, it should link to our LinkedIn profile, our GitHub profile, and our email. Let's change it. Let's go to Content Island, and you'll see there's a contact section that includes a list of contact buttons. I can always add more here if needed. At the moment, I have more contact buttons available, but for now, we'll stick with these three. Let's start changing them. The email address. So we come down here and simply change it to our real, actual email address. The GitHub profile is the same thing. We look for the profile and change it right here. And for the LinkedIn profile, we can simply come here and update it as needed. Since I changed three entries, I don't want to go one by one clicking publish. What can I do? Well, click on bulk publish. I can select which ones I want to publish or not. And then I click on the publish button, and that way all of them become public at once. Let's see what this looks like. We come here and refresh. And now, as you can see, this actually points to the correct accounts, just as we intended. In fact, if we open the GitHub one, you can see right here exactly what is happening. Next section, which is the monthly recommendation, is coming up. Let's update that one too. Here we navigate to the recommendation section of the application. And inside is the monthly recommendation. Let's modify it. I'm going to recommend Content Island blog site. Let's change the description and update the link label to be contentisland.net. I'll also set the URL so it points directly to the Content Island blog, making sure everything is properly linked. We take a moment to confirm the changes, and after we hit the Publish button, we go back to the previous page, refresh it, and here it is, just as expected. Everything is now synced and working exactly as it should. Regarding the featured posts section, since I'm planning to delete all of the example posts that are currently there and add my own original posts instead, I'll wait until I actually have my own posts created and ready before I update this card. This way, the featured posts will accurately reflect my own content, and the card will be up to date with my latest work. We keep scrolling down the page, and here, as you can see, we have a clear call to action. Let's take a moment to adapt this call to action so that it fits perfectly with our profile. In the call to action entry, I click on it and proceed to update the text as needed. In my particular case, what I want to do is change the third row, which is labeled as description 2. And for this example, I'm going to put my email address there. After making that change, we hit the publish button, then come back here to this page, refresh it, and you can see that it shows up correctly, just as expected. This confirms that the update has been applied successfully and everything is working as intended. Now it's time to update the footer. Back to it now. I have the footer section right here, and instead of the text that previously said JWD, I'm going to put the name Braulio in its place. After making that change, we hit the Publish button, then go back to the main page, refresh the browser, and here it is. You can see the updated footer with Braulio displayed. The Contact section is still fine because it's the same one that we had up here, and it's being reused. And now it's time to get to the core of the page, which is the posts. We go to Content Island, select Post, and we're going to delete all the test ones we have. I hit delete, and in this confirmation dialog, notice that we get an exclamation mark. This warns us that Post 1 is being used by another entity. In this case, it's by Feature Post. And it's a warning saying, hey, if you're going to delete this, just know that you're going to impact another entity that has a relationship with Post. In our case, it's fine because all these posts are test posts. So let's delete them all and create the real ones. I'll delete one, then I'll pause, delete the rest so I don't bore you, and now we'll create the new ones. Let's add a new post. We give it this name, the same title. For the friendly URL fragment, the slug, we'll use this one. The publication date, well, whichever we were at. In short, the summary goes here. For the header image, we can either add a file or drag and drop. We upload it. For the reading time, let's say, for example, 5 minutes. And now let's add the content of the post. We can add an image and paste the rest of the post. Let's hit preview to see how it looks. Well, it looks good. Let's publish it. And let's go ahead and see what result we get together. Here's our first post. We click on it and watch out. We get a 404. And you might wonder why. Was there some error in Content Island? The answer is no. Since we're on local Astro development and working in SSG mode for each post, a route is generated afterwards, and we run getStaticPath to generate all possible routes. Since we're running locally, this only happens once when we do npm run dep. If we add new pages, we have to stop the server and run npm run dep again, so it executes that getStaticPath. Heads up, this doesn't happen in production. In production, it works differently. Let's come back here, and now it's working. It's refreshing, we click, and now we have the details for that post. Let's create another one together now. Let's go to Content Island, and here in Post, I'm going to click on More. And I'll create this one, which will be called Hello Content Island. I'll configure the Slack as well as the publication date for the team. Now, let's scroll down a little to the summary section. Now, we add a header photo to the page for clarity. Here it is, right? Read time. Let's set it to 5 minutes. And the content of the post, it's ready now. We click Publish. We go to the web browser and then we refresh the page. And here, as you can see, the second post now appears on the screen. The same thing would happen in this situation if you tried it again. I'm going to stop and restart the server. And now the change is reflected. Let's move on to the second page of this website, the About page. In this case, the header is already customized because it's part of the layout. The Hero section is also customized. All that's left is the tech stack and contact. This call to action is already customized. The footer too. So it's simply the two I mentioned plus the core, which is experience. Let's start with tech stack. Let's go to Content Island. And we look for a section called Tool. Here I have all the tools. I can add more in Tool section. And in Tool section, I have a list. I'm going to delete, for example, get. I'm going to delete .NET. I'm going to delete SQL Server. I'm going to move React to the top. And I want to add two new ones. For that, I come here to Tool Collection. I click on plus. And I add, for example, Astro. Here I have Astro. I add the icon. In this case, it has to be an SVG format. I upload it. And now I have this in my tool collection list. I'm going to move it to the top. And I want to add one more. So here in tool collection, I'm going to click on plus and I add Content Island. Here as well, Content Island. I add the Content Island iCard. That's it. What happens now? I've modified the tool section, specifically tool collection, and I've added two more entities, Astro and Content Island. What can I do? I click on book, publish, and publish them all at once. If I now go to the browser and refresh, here you can see the updated list of icons. Oops, Content Island ended up at the end. You know what? I want to move it to the top. I'll come over here to Tool Collection and same thing, Content Island. I'm going to put it right below Astro. I publish the changes again, making sure everything is saved, and then I hit refresh on my browser to see the latest version of the site. Now, when the page reloads, I can see that it looks just the way I want it, which is really satisfying. With that done, let's move on to the next part, the contact section. We'll go to the contact page so we can review the information there and update it as needed. Here in the contact section, we look for the field. Here it is. I'm going to change this description. The LinkedIn, GitHub, and other links don't need to be changed because we already have them linked from before. We hit publish, and then we come here and refresh the page. Perfect. And before moving on to the experience bar, I just remembered that on the blog page we had feature post, and right now it's empty. What are we going to do? We're going to assign these two entries to it. I go to Content Island. I'm going to look for feature post. Here it is, feature post, post collection. And I add the two that are there, the first one and then the second one. I hit the publish button. After that, I go back to the previous page. I refresh now. And here are the two featured posts. Back to the About page. And now let's move on to the last challenge. And that's to change this experience section. Let's go back to Content Island. We go to Experience section. Here, there's a collection with a few, and what we're going to do is delete them. Here's something important. If I delete from here, I delete the relationship, but I don't delete the entity itself. If I delete from here, it gives me the option. It asks me, hey, do you want to delete the relationship of this experience with this list? Yes, but I also want to delete the content. And here I get a green check indicating that yes, I can delete it because there isn't any other relationship that's using it. So I delete it. I'm going to delete the rest. I'll hit pause so I don't bore you. And notice now that since there are no entries in experience, and experience is a field that must be filled in, experience collection, here it notifies me. It says, hey, you still have things to add. Okay, so I'm going to include the experience line. I create one. I'm going to name it here, Base Factor founder from 2014 to the present day. And the description of the role, I click publish, or if I want, I can publish everything all at once later. Let's add another one. I click here on more. And here I choose lemon code. Founder, the period of involvement, and a description of the job, including the main responsibilities and roles. I'm going to pause and create the rest of the entries. Now I have the complete list of entries. Since I created a bunch, I'm going to click bulk publish. I review, I publish, I go back to the web browser and click refresh. And here we have everything. Now, at this stage, we just have a few small details left to take care of before we can consider everything complete. For example, we need to make some minor adjustments, such as changing the favicon, updating or changing the title of the website, and also adding important meta information to each page so that they can rank well and perform better on Google and other search engines. For all of these tasks, we have the page meta section available. Here it is. Let's open it together, and let's give it a suitable home title that accurately represents the main page. Description for the homepage. The favicon isn't particularly bad or problematic, but let's go ahead and change it to something else. I'll delete the current favicon, and then let's add, for example, a new one that might better suit our needs or preferences. This one from Content Island. Let's keep going. About description. Let's update it. And in the section labeled About Title, let's go ahead and put the main title that will be displayed for the About page. All set. Let's publish. Refresh. And here you can see the new favicon and the new page title. It looks good, but you might say, hey, I want to change the colors. I want it to be compatible with my corporate colors or use other colors. What can I do? Well, I come here, look for the theme entry, and here I can change the primary and secondary colors as well as the fonts. In my case, I'm going to change the primary color to this one and the secondary color to this other one, just as I prefer. I'll hit publish now just to check and see what it looks like real quick. Refresh. And here is the new site with the new theme. As you can see, all the pages are consistent. Now it's ready to publish and connect your cloud provider with a webhook so you can trigger automatic deployments directly whenever new content is published. In the Content Island documentation portal, you can find guides that explain how to do it. I hope you like this template.